Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, no material organization, whatever its degree of preparation, is capable of bringing a solution to the miseries of man. Man must rise to a higher level of consciousness and get rid of his ignorance, limitations, and selfishness in order to get rid of his suffering, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Divine Mother taken from the question and answers of Volume 6 from the Collective Works, date 5th May 1954, page 120. Question, Sweet Mother, what is the right attitude to stick on to this path till the supramental truth is realized? There is the psychic condition in sincerity and devotion to the Mother. Sweet Mother, what is the psychic condition? For this, our Divine Mother says, the psychic condition, that means being in relation with one's psychic. It means being governed by one's psychic being. Question, Sweet Mother, I don't understand very clearly the difference between faith, belief, and confidence. For that, our Divine Mother says, but Sri Aurobindo has given the full explanation here. If you don't understand, then, for this the child says, he has written, faith is a feeling in the whole being. For this, our Divine Mother smiles and says, the whole being, yes, faith, that's the whole being at once. He says that belief is something that occurs in the head, that is purely mental. Confidence is quite different. Confidence is one can have in life, like a trust in God, trust in others, trust in one's own destiny. That is, one has the feeling that everything is going to help him or do what he wants to do. Faith is a certitude without any proof. For this the child says, Mother, Sweet Mother, on what does faith depend? For this our Divine Mother says, divine grace. And some people have it spontaneously. There are others who need to make an effort to have it. For this the child says, how can faith be increased, Sweet Mother? Our Divine Mother says, through aspiration. Some have it spontaneously, you see. Our Divine Mother says, you see, it is difficult to pray if one doesn't have faith. But if one can make a prayer a means of increasing one's faith or aspiring, having an aspiration to have faith, most of these qualities require an effort. If one does not have a thing and wants to have it, well, it needs great sustained efforts, a constant aspiration, an unflagging will, a sincerity at each moment. Then one is sure it will come one day. It can come in a second. Our Divine Mother says, there are people who have it, and then they have contrary movements which come and attack. These people, if their will is sincere, can shield their faith and repel the attacks. There are others who cultivate doubt because it is a kind of dilettantism that there's nothing more dangerous than that. It is as though one were letting the worm into the fruit. It is eventually that it eats it up completely. This means that when a moment of this sort comes, it usually comes first into the mind. The very first thing to do is to be too very plucky and refuse it. Surely one must not enjoy looking on just to see what is going to happen. That kind of curiosity is terribly dangerous. It is perhaps more difficult for intellectuals to have faith. It is perhaps more difficult for intellectuals to have faith than for those who have a simple, sincere, upright heart and no intellectual complications. But I think if an intellectual person has faith, then that becomes very powerful, a very powerful thing which can truly work miracles. For that the child says, "Sweet mother, where does determination come from?" For this our Divine Mother says, "Usually it is in those who have a will and bring their will to bear upon their actions." The child says, "Sweet mother, if one has faith in the divine and also trust, what is the difference between faith and trust?" For this, our Divine Mother smiles and says, "Faith is something much more integral." That is what Sri Aurobindo has written. Much more integral than trust. You see, you have trust in the divine. In the sea that you have convinced, in the sea that you are convinced that all that comes from him will always be the best for you, whatever his decision and whatever the experience he sends you or the circumstances in which he puts you, it will all be always what is best for you. This is trust. But faith, that kind of unshakable certitude in the very existence of God. Faith is something that seizes the whole being. It is not only mental, psychic, or vital, it is the whole being entirely which has faith. Faith leads straight to experience. The child says, "Sweet mother, can trust be total and entire?" For this, our Divine Mother says, "Not necessarily." Well, there is a shade of difference, however, I don't know, it is not the same thing. Our Divine Mother says, one has given oneself totally to the divine work, one has faith in it, not only in its possibility, but faith that it is the thing which is true, which must be, and one gives oneself entirely to it without asking what will happen. And so, therein or thereon may be grafted a certitude, a confidence that one is capable of accomplishing it, that is, of participating in it and doing it because one has given oneself to it, a confidence that what one is going to do, what one wants to do, one will be able to do. That this realization one wants to attain, one will attain. Our Divine Mother says the first does not put any question, does not think of the results. It gives itself entirely. It gives itself and then that's all. It is something that absorbs one completely. The others may be grafted upon it. Confidence says, "Yes, I shall participate. Realize what I want to realize. I shall surely take part in this work." For the other, one has faith in the divine, that is the divine who is all and can do all and does all and who is the only real existence. And one gives oneself entirely to this faith, to the divine, that's all. Our Divine Mother says, One has faith in the existence of the divine, gives oneself, and there also can be grafted upon this a trust that this relation one has with the divine, this faith one has in the divine, this work in such a way that all that happens to him, whatever it may be, all that happens to him will not only be an expression of the divine will, but also the best that could happen. Nothing better could have happened to him since it is the divine who is doing it for him. This attitude is not necessarily a part of faith, for faith does not question anything. It does not ask what is the consequence of its self giving will be. It gives itself, and that's all. While confidence can come and say, that's what the result will be. And this is an absolute fact. That is, the moment one gives oneself entirely to the divine without calculating, in a total faith, without bargaining of any kind, one gives oneself, and then come what may. That doesn't concern me. I just give myself automatically. It will be always for you in all circumstances, Divine Mother. At every moment, the best will happen. Not the way you conceive of it, but in reality. Well, there is a part of the being which can become aware of this and have this confidence. This is something added on to faith which gives it more strength, a strength of total acceptance and the best utilization of what may happen. Our Divine Mother says, there is a state in which one realizes that the effect of things, circumstances, moments, actions of life on the consciousness depends almost exclusively upon one's attitude to these things. There is a moment one becomes sufficiently conscious to realize that things in themselves are truly neither good nor bad. They are this only in relation to us. Their effect on us deeply depends upon the attitude we have towards them. The same thing, identically the same, if we take it as a gift of God, as a divine grace, as a result of the full harmony, helps us to become more conscious, strong, more true, if we call it or we take it exactly in the same circumstance as a blow from fate or bad force wanting to affect us. This constricts us, weighs us down, takes away from us all our consciousness and strength and harmony. And the circumstances in itself is exactly the same. I should like you all to have the experience. For this, when you have it, you become master of yourself.
Te connaître et te vivre intégralement. In the heart of the shadow, in the bosom of the silence, burns the lamp that can never be extinguished, the fire of an ardent aspiration to know thee and totally to live thee.
Our Divine Mother says, not only master of yourself, but in what concerns you, master of the circumstances of your life. And this depends exclusively upon the attitude you take. It is not an experience that occurs in the head, though it begins there, but an experience which can occur in the body itself. So much so that, well, it is a realization which naturally asks for a lot of work, concentration, self mastery, consciousness pushed into matter. But as a result, in accordance with the way the body receives shocks from outside, the effect may be different. And if you attain perfection in that field, you become master of the accidents. I hope you will, I hope this will happen. It is possible. Only it is just one step forward. That is, this power you have already fully, formidably realized in the mind to act upon circumstances to the extent of changing them totally in their action upon you. That power can descend into matter, into the physical substance itself, the cells of the body, and give the power, the same power to the body in relation to the things around it. This is not a faith, it is a certitude that comes from experience. The experience is not total, but it is there. This opens new horizons to you. It is the path. It is one step on the path leading to transformation. And the logical conclusion is that there is nothing impossible. It is we who put limitations. All the time we say that thing is possible, that other thing is impossible. This can be done, that can't be done. This is true, that is feasible. Even if it is done, oh, that is impossible. If it is we who have to think about it. It is we who all the time put ourselves like slaves into the prison of our own limitations, of our stupid, narrow, ignorant sea, which knows nothing of the laws of life. The laws of life are not at all what you think they are, nor what the most intelligent people think. They're quite different. Taking a step, especially the first step on the path, one begins to find out, says our Divine Mother.